any topic right now, 280-CFOX, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? We do have some rules today on open phones. Nobody from Los Angeles.
Is that for our Whitecaps?
Still not over it. No.
Oh.
Roberto's.
I'm over that. We're over that. Yes.
That's in honor of the Whitecaps, that's what it means.
Yes, we're over that. We're moving on to the next season.
Roberto, who was the biggest prick job on the Kings there? Was Dustin Brown a real goofball? Was he saying mean things to you in the net?
I know, I hate to say this because he was my teammate with Team Canada.
Oh.
Richards.
So it's him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Richards?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a dick. One free punch, he's the guy you're going to do.
For lack of a better word.
I was going to say asshole, but it's a little bit harsh. Dick, it's a little bit better. Today on Open Phones, nobody from Hamilton. Let's go. And of course, we do have a special guest, so please be on your best behavior. Joining us is Roberto Luongo. This is a family program. There are children listening, so God damn it,
don't swear.
Let's go to line 1, Jared in Vancouver. Go ahead, Jared. It's Open Phones.
Good, I know. You know what, obviously, I think playing a hockey market is great. I think that would be my preference for sure. I mean, sometimes playing in a place like Florida, the anonymity also is nice to be able to go somewhere and maybe have a dinner with your family and you know, and able to relax and stuff. But you know, when you're on the ice and you want to be playing in a building that's rocking and it's sold out and the fans are passionate about their team, so you know, for sure, I think as a hockey player, you always want to be in that type of market.
Roberto, post game for the Panthers, how many media personnel are coming in and asking you questions after the game when you're a Panther versus when it's for you're the Canucks? Because I know Scott and I have been in there before. There's literally, it's shoulder to shoulder. You can't put anybody else in the room asking questions, and that's for a game in mid-December. So is it really the polar opposite down in Florida?
Well, I mean, it's been a while since I played there, but from what I remember, you know, I'd say maybe a handful of guys.
And you know my name.
Depending on who we play, but usually, you know, 4 or 5 guys is tops.
And they really didn't know your name?
Yeah, so you are number 1.
Let's go to line 2. Brian, go ahead, Brian. It's Open Phones.
That's a good question. I think you know, there's a lot of cities that are great to play in. I mean, and Chicago is definitely one of them. But I think you got to realize that you know, it works both ways. You know, there's not only me involved in the decision. You know, it would also be a question of if the Blackhawks would be interested, and you know, if the team would be interested in trading me there, and if I'd be willing to go there. So there's more than just me that needs to decide where I want to go.
Steve Nash just left $9 million on the table so he didn't have to go to Toronto. He wanted to play in LA, closer to his family in Phoenix. Can you see yourself leaving money on the table in order to not go to a market that you don't want to go to?
Well, my contract's set, so I can't really leave money anywhere. It is what it is, and maybe that's a bit of a handicap for me right now as far as being able to you know, decide as far as how many teams are really interested in my services. So you know, there's a few teams on there that would be you know, willing to look at, but you know, obviously Florida is my home in the off season, and it makes sense, family reasons why. But at the end of the day, it's hockey also, and there's not many years left in my career. Even though I got a long contract, I want to be focused on having a chance to do something.
Could you go to Chicago and enjoy that Chelsea Dagger song? My God.
I like that song. Man.
Oh, well, we heard it a fair bit over the past couple of years.
Was it just a verbal agreement between you and Mike Gillis to say that you'd be willing to waive your no trade clause? Could you come back tomorrow and say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to instill my no trade clause, and I want to stay in Vancouver? Is that within your rights? Would you do that? Could you do that?
Well, it is within my rights, but you know, I think it's really time to move on. You know, I don't think it was either one of us that really either I demanded a trade or Mike, you know, suggested that I leave. But I think it was just more of a mutual understanding that it was time for me to go and Corey to take over.
Let's go to line 3 on the island. It's Dallas. Good morning, Dallas. It's Open Phones.
How you doing? Good. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, like I said, I mean, it's tough to say because Mike Gillis is obviously in charge of the negotiations and making the trade. I mean, Florida is definitely one of the spots I'd be willing to go to. So, you know, to be honest with you, I haven't had much communication with Mike. I mean, he keeps me updated once in a while, and I'm sure when something will be close to happening, that's when I'll have to make a decision. But for right now, to be honest with you, I haven't really made any decisions whatsoever.
Would you be pissed if you got traded for like a puck bag or something? Does it matter who's going the other way?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. I think you know, there's so many different ways to look at the trade from different perspectives, and maybe you know they just want to clear the cap room. Who knows? I mean, but for me, I think it's got to be a place where I'm comfortable with, and that's what matters.
So I go to line 4, Ron in Mission. Go ahead, Ron. It's open phones. Good.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, screaming at that's surprised.
Roberto, how many times in a day do you sign your autograph? Because I know that when you came here last night, there was the little soiree, the little party. What did you call it earlier?
It was a mixer.
A mixer.
We had a mixer last night, didn't we?
It's
a bit of a mixer.
I like to call those a meet and creep because a lot of people want to meet you and some people stay and linger too long, so it's a bit creepy. So it's not a meet and greet, it's more of a meet and creep.
Well, it depends how much alcohol the person's consumed. So
That's true.
the more alcohol, the creepier
I guess.
situation.
But we left here and went over to the club afterwards. And yesterday alone, how many times did you sign your name? How many photos did you pose for?
I don't know. I would say
In the hundreds, in the
yeah,
thousands?
No, hundreds. I would say hundreds. It wasn't too crazy. It was a pretty good night. I mean, once we were out of this suite and went downstairs, it was pretty quiet, so it was good.
We had a number of questions along these lines, and you know what, I kind of like this, so I'm going to ask it, although I think I know the answer. Ask Roberto if Bieksa or Mike Gillis have ever warned you about the three of us. Because we've had run-ins with Mike Gillis.
Oh, really?
Yes. He won't take our calls anymore. And Kevin Boom Boom Bieksa, although you call him Juice, we call him Boom Boom. He took the summer off. He said, no, thank you, I don't want to talk to you guys this summer. Because we've talked to Kevin probably 100 different times.
Okay. Did something happen there?
And did he not finish it with go ask the stupid questions to someone else?
I think
something
he did.
along those lines.
So,
Yeah.
But following in those lines, you're about to find out why Mike Gillis won't return our calls anymore. Over to you, Scott.
Roberto, we have a standard question we ask a lot of people. We asked Mike Gillis, we've asked Kevin Bieksa, we've asked all sorts of people, politicians, and...
It's all the pee in the shower question.
Oh, it's
No.
It's better, depending.
It's along those lines.
Just remember, there's no wrong answer.
Yes, and I've done it in, I've got it in Italian.
Really?
Yes.
Are you gonna read it?
I'm going to read it in Italian.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Because we
Can
did
you
this
speak
in,
Italian,
in
Scott?
Spanish for Mario Gutierrez.
Yes.
Yeah, who is Capucha.
Yeah, Capucha. So, Roberto Luongo, still a Vancouver Canuck, #1 in your heart. Are you tagliata o grezzo?
That's not Italian, man.
I Google translated last night coming home from the bar, so maybe I did it different, but I'll give it to you in English. Roberto Luongo, are you cut or uncut?
No wrong answer. And remember, they're going to post the answer on Strongbone 1 later today.
Uncut in every way.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
See, no wrong answer.
Now you know what Mike Gillis hung up on.
I don't blame him.
I feel you might walk out now. That's why we save the question till the very end of the interview.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. People just get up and walk out.
I'll follow it up with one a little quicker, an easier one here. You've always got lovely hair. People want to know what kind of a hair care product you use. Is it a dippity-doo? Is it some sort of
It's just the
wrist stuff?
natural Italian oils that I have for my scalp.
They give you a great deal? People know.
All right, you can follow him on Twitter at Strong. Well, I have it written down there. You can learn more about Roberto. I'm not saying it is him. If you follow the website, the Twitter site at Strongbone1, because they seem to have a